here in Solo. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Excellent. Bitches.
We talk louder.
Okay, beautiful. It's good. Oh yeah, perfect on a Monday. Monday afternoon.
Monday afternoon.
This is technically my Friday night because Tuesday we're closed.
That's great.
Yeah, so we hang out and drink a little bit.
So what's the schedule?
We're closed Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursday we're now open for lunch downstairs, just in this room here, the speakeasy room. Friday open for lunch, then dinner. Saturday just dinner. Sunday dinner. But the Trattoria is open every day for lunch.
Yeah.
It's been pretty cool up there.
That's my hangout up there.
Yeah, it's a good spot.
Yeah, we frequent.
Like my whole story there is like, I worked in Brooklyn on Sundays and I lived in Hoboken. I was hanging out with people, and I always had like not FOMO, but like everyone would go out on Sunday in Hoboken, and then I would go to Brooklyn and this restaurant had no TVs, it was just a old school hall. Yeah. So I'd always be sitting there bartending on like my day. I'm like, one day I got to put the Italian culture and the Sunday football culture together, and that's the birthright of the Trattoria.
It's cool up there. Just go hang out, and menu's phenomenal, right? So you're sitting up there eating. I always like, just as a lightning round here for the podcast, I am the person that always orders when they're closing the kitchen. Don't worry. I'm like,
we don't hate you, no.
I'm like the last one. I'm like, they're gonna totally hate me.
No, we're good to stay.
Yeah.
Like, I think all the places in the area, we stay open the latest.
Yeah.
For sure. Like,
a lot of o'clock. That's how we gravitated here, and then we're like, oh, this is now our spot.
Yeah, we're late night people. Like, so I eat dinner at 10:30 at night.
Yeah, I see you guys in there eating dinner some nights.
Okay, so what's your go-to? What do you order up there?
The mozzarella,
caprese, the
caprese, is phenomenal, and like it just, especially when you're drinking, you're like, all right, this is the trip. Yeah. And then like the meatball appetizer is always a go-to.
Yeah, those meatballs are great. We took a lifetime to perfect how to do meatballs for service. They went through every which way. You used to they had one where you keep it in a bag in a steam table in boiling water. Then some people keep it in the sauce. Then we finally found the groove here about the right way to do it.
And they're good.
Thank you.
And it's like a meat mixture too. It's
veal, beef, and pork. There's eggs in there. There's the bread. When you see meatballs that are darker, that means they're just putting beef in, and the ground beef is not what gives it the flavor. That's like a filler. People are like, the Kobe beef meatballs. I'm like, the pork and the veal make the whole thing. It's
I grew up in an Italian household. I'm half Italian, half Spanish, but my mom's side, I guess great-grandmother used to make the meatballs, and then like nobody was figuring it out, and I have one cousin like figured out how to get them close because they lived together for a while.
There was no recipe written down.
No, zero recipe.
Right.
Yeah.
So you also said it's by feel.
Yeah,
it's 100%.
So even for like when we had the pizzeria for 50 years in Brooklyn, nobody knew the recipe for the seasoning for the pizza sauce. It was measured in the palm, grandfather's hand. Then you would put it in small cups. Yeah. And then when the guys needed, they would take it, but nobody knew it.
Nobody knew it.
Same with the baked clam, the breadcrumb. We have no recipe for that. It goes by feel.
And it's also, I remember with my grandmother, it was like, you can't overmix it or because it gets tough or they get dense, right? Like you have to have that feel, and me with like gorilla hand, just like making meatballs, and then they come out like rocks.
Also with mozzarella, you see most people, they're pulling it, they're doing all this. It's not the right. Yeah, so the less you do to find its face, the better, and that's more tender. It's funny you say the mozzarella curd we get specially made it's a 101 batch for our restaurant. It has certain fat and acid content in it, so it has a very short shelf life. So by 10:30 at night, it's falling apart. Yeah. So, but we make it twice a day. So it's a lot of people just keep it in the water for 3 days. They make it, but my life revolves around getting here before we open to make the mozzarella for lunch, and then
it's awesome.
Favorite.
So just for our audience, we're here on site for the first time. We've always done it in the studio, so we're on site here at Ristorante MV for sit down with Michael and Caitlin. Caitlin's our first repeat to the podcast as well, so she gets to take that crown with her, and just having some conversation, good times around frequent restaurant that I visit in town for us, and you guys both local.
Both local. Yeah. I live in Bedminster.
Yeah. How'd you end up like in this location? Because how old's the restaurant now?
It's four and a quarter. So it's getting old now.
Yeah.
But we had the restaurant in Brooklyn, and we were there, and we had plans of closing it in 5 years. This is right before the pandemic. There was a bunch of these lawsuits going around New York that were flagging the plaguing the system where
Typical New York.
it's just overtime wages, untipped employees, this and that. So he owned the building in New York, and our estate planner, who happened to be my uncle, basically said it's unsafe having the restaurant open because it's such a valuable building that he's like, we got to lock this up in a trust. So in 5 years, you close down and then go do whatever. So anyways, the pandemic hit. We're like 2 years away from the closing date, and then we were just hanging around. We didn't know what to do. We never had that much time off in our lives. So it's like 9 months go by, a year go by, and I'm like, Dad, why are we going to reopen the restaurant to just be open for a year and a half? Like, to bring everything off the ground costs a couple $100,000. There's nothing in the shelves. So I'm like, why don't we take a look in Jersey now and see, that was always a plan. Me and my dad were going to open in Jersey, and I worked for my uncle as well in Brooklyn, and he was going to retire. So
Born in New York and lived in New York your whole life before?
I was actually in Bergen County.
Okay.
So my dad grew up in Brooklyn.
So you knew the Jersey side of it?
Yeah, I got commuted every day from at first Bergen County, then I moved to Hoboken, Weehawken. But so then I'm like, Dad, why don't this is a good time for us to find out. One, everyone's going to be dying to get out of the business. Like, people were like, please take my business. And then, we started looking in Bergen County, and we were very close to pulling the trigger on this place called Grissini. It's on 9W there. It's a great place for a restaurant. But then the owner was like, hey, I'm still going to hang out here every day. I'm like, no, I don't think so. So anyways, I started spending time out here because I was living in an apartment. My fiance at the time, she lived in her family's in Burnsville. I started spending time out here. I said, this area needs a New York-style place so much more than Bergen County. Because Bergen County, 30 minutes, you hop in an Uber, you're there. Also, the people that opened from New York and New Jersey came to Bergen County because that's proximity to New York. So I said, out here, going to the city, which we do quite often, it's one, you need drivers, you need this.
Yeah, it's a hike.
So I said, our one goal here is to take the trip to New York and bring it to these people's backyard. And that's what really has been our philosophy. We stay open late, we're here for the fun. And, when it came to the whole idea of what we were going to do here, it was kind of like, it was every high-end Italian restaurant in New Jersey, you feel like you're at a funeral home, it's stuffy, you feel like you got to work.
So you smell inside.
Yeah, it's like, that's what we were in Brooklyn. And I said, when we do it, this way, we're going to make it like the West Village. We're going to make it where people can walk in T-shirts and jeans. I wear this to work every day on a Friday night, and people can feel comfortable. You don't need to wear a jacket to spend $200 on a bottle of wine. In New York, people in sweatpants are, doing crazy stuff. So I said, we're not going to put stress on the dress code, but on the weekend, people do get excited to come out and dress to nine.
I mean, it plays a big part for us, right? Like we it's so nice to have good local restaurants. Like, I think we're starting to get a little bit of like a restaurant scene around here, and it's bringing some attention. Even our friends who don't live close, like they're like, oh, MV, or so you start finding these different restaurants locally. But like, it's so nice for us to say, because put it what it is, like you're in a nice area, so people like to go out to eat. But if you can stay somewhat local and like take a quick Uber, like it makes a huge or walk. It makes a huge difference.
The real estate people, a bunch of real estate people eat here, commercial and residential, and they said since we opened, the values of the homes went up in this area because there's a destination restaurant in your town where it's like you don't realize how much that affects everything. Like in my head, Brooklyn, Bergen County, there's a million places you can go and have fun with some energy and stuff. But out here, it was like if I didn't have this place, it would be way too quiet out there.
Yeah, it's quiet. Yeah. No, and I think it plays a big piece of like the culture of the towns that are, like you said, they're starting to build. Right, you have like the Westfields and you have Summit where they have these like center of town, but it's a very different lifestyle there, right? Your smaller properties are on top, like you don't get to have that, hey, I want to move out west. I want to have a little bit more room.
Exactly.
But I also want some of, I call them amenities, right?
Yeah.
Where you have the restaurants, things to go in, bars, restaurants, things to do. And I don't have to be in Hoboken, or I don't have to be in Morristown.
Yeah.
Exactly. What, it's really cool.
What's unique about this, the homes are so spread out here that there's not a lot of it's not densely populated. And like, I think about this sometimes, like even like during the week to fill this place, it's saying something. People are coming from all over.
From a demographic perspective,
and the weekend too. People are coming from Staten Island. They're coming from Pennsylvania. They're coming from New York.
Yeah.
You guys have made a name, which is hard to do.
Just that article just came out about how it's the celebrity hotspot here because. For some reason, all these people are coming by, and it's pretty cool. And it's
it's great then.
Yeah, good reasons.
Listen, the food's always good. Even when you guys first opened, I sat right there a few times. I felt like I had a seat here. To be honest, like
did you really?
I would come in, and we always have like I don't know, like 6 people, and they would always like sit us right there. And it was awesome. But like I've started going through the menu and like trying different things, and like, you know, it's,
Special menus got a lot of stuff going.
yeah. So like you could, that's the other thing, you guys keep it pretty fresh, right?
Yeah, we just added today. We have we made a gnocchi, ricotta gnocchi with corn, and then we made a corn and cream sauce, and we're serving that with chopped pistachios on top. Summertime. Next week is crab sauce coming up. You know, the Italians usually do crab sauce around Christmas time, but we grew up going to the Jersey Shore, and we had the crabs down there, so we always did it in the summer. So we stuck it with our menu in the summer, and people get excited about that dish. It's one of my favorites, actually. Brings back a taste of childhood. You know?
Yeah. I always try to, I don't know why, I just when I go to restaurants, order off the specials menu. Like it just.
Have you seen a special menu?
I've seen it a few times. Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen it recently.
10 minutes to really go through all that.
You guys put a lot on it.
Yeah, and and we know we do specials on the voce, like we verbalize them. We have steaks. Tonight we had party, and we ordered a little bit extra to see how it go. Alaskan king crab legs, and we do them fra diavolo with them and pasta, garlic and oil. So it was kind of.
So who does the curating of the menus?
So I would say my father was my partner. I've worked for him my whole life. Now we're partners. He has that creative edge to him, and he went to the culinary schools, and he did this and did that. I'm more of the not I want to say front of the house, but more
business side of it.
Business side of it. I mean, he's back office business. He's great at he keeps a sharp pencil on that checkbook. But when it comes to the energy and what's going on here, it's kind of my thing. But with us working together, it's not just all talk here because he has this. I mean, I'm putting the food in the dish on the weekends, but he sets up the menus and stuff. You know, he's 65 now, and he worked on a stove his whole life, and that beats apart your body.
Oh yeah, you keep him on its feet and
hot kitchens. In Brooklyn it was, in the 80s and 90s there they did some business. So it was high volume, hot, heavy, and
sure.
So I said, I got a tennis elbow, not from playing tennis, from sauteing pasta, and I'm falling apart. I'm half his age.
I feel like people love the restaurant business when they're in it, or they tell you it's for the birds, right? Like I think you have like those two very different views of it because it's a lot of hours. You're working when everybody else doesn't want to, right? And you're
so it's funny you said that. My dad did a career day at my grammar school in Bergen County. He says, they asked me to do this career day, but first off, I would not recommend anyone getting into this business. I don't want my kids in this business. He goes, So my 2 older brothers are. One of them's the head of the credit desk at Michael Dell's hedge fund, and then my middle brother does commercial real estate for a group in our family, and there wasn't for them. They were beyond putting kitchen, like every day I change it to my kitchen whites, and it's kind of like pretty humbling for me. It's like reminds me, hey, guess what? You're busy, you're doing well, you have some nice stuff, but don't forget how that stuff.
Yeah, you get your hands dirty a little bit.
Yeah, so it's pretty humbling. I think you can agree about that. We put scrubs on, and we always talked about that. How the uniform keeps you grounded.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I even in my line of work, run operations for a mortgage company, right? So I was on the way here. I'm dealing with customer complaints, who's mad because they didn't get approved, and you just got to get your hands dirty sometimes and jump in. It is what it is, but like you said, it brings you back down to okay, this is how the sausage is made.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Nobody wants to see it being made. But that's how it's made.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's just some people I saw recently open new restaurants, and I don't know why they're doing it because they're sick of dealing with people. I'm I was kind of the day you lose your hospitality and the day you have to love that side. You can't have a bad day and just be mean to people. It's you have to be in it.
And I'm sure you don't want people to feel what's going on in the kitchen on a good night, right?
It's the swan. It's a swan theory. Everything needs to look like it's floating like this, but underwater, the swan's legs go like this. So that's basically what restaurant is.
Yeah.
Danny Meyer spoke of that really well.
I mean, I saw the guys when I walked in here. They were cleaning all the glasses and making sure everything looked good. That's a huge part of it, right?
The best is the conception of people that own restaurants. They're sitting in the office counting cash and drinking wine, not doing this. But really, the owner of the restaurant, my opinion, a good one. Guess what? When the dishwasher can go up, guess who's washing dishes?
Yeah.
My cook's not going to do it. I'm going to do it. So if you think you're better than that, I don't think it's a good business for you. So,
what do you guys do locally in terms of are you have events here?
Yeah, we do. So, really right now our a la carte business it could go up a little bit, but we're really tapped out when it comes to
perspective,
space and busy wise. On Monday we can do a couple extra people, but really you have to target the events, and that's really the bread and butter. It's easy. We have this crew. We bring our crew in. Everything's predetermined with set menus. We had our biggest event this Saturday night, which was actually my gentleman that I'm very close with, his daughter's wedding, and he went all out, and he's like, Mike, I don't care what it is. He goes, do everything you possibly can to make this the best event of your life. And he goes, I want this to be historic. And I said, you got the right people. I can easily spend other people's money, and I know how to do it. But
So you guys went to the venue and sit up there?
No, it was here.
Oh, you did.
He closed us down on this Saturday night, and then he also closed down the Trattoria for his after party with the 10 nightclub.
That's awesome.
So
that's really cool.
I had to source. Actually, the wine we're drinking. The only reason we have it is because there's a couple bottles left. This is Tignanello.
Yeah.
His party drank. 140 people drank that wine. And it's pretty tough to get, and you gotta. The phone calls I had to make to get different cases. It was a little difficult.
Like allocations on them and stuff.
Oh yeah. And then, especially this one, because this is the first Super Tuscan tap through the New York market. Actually, Cirque in New York was the first restaurant to really stand by Tignanello, and at first Super Tuscans were frowned upon because it was a bunch of Italian guys said, you make the best wine, we're not going to follow any rules of the DOCGs, the ILT, whatever. And they said our blended wine's the best, and then they were finally recognized as Super Tuscan. So the real wineries were that doesn't follow any of the rules, but these guys are just artists, and you're talking the Holy Trilogy, Ornellaia, Sassicaia, and Tignanello. So it's there's a lot of great, I don't know why here, but there's a lot of great brands that probably have wine that compares to this stuff, but they don't have the exposure in the name brand, and people hear this, they take stuff they know. It's
right.
So they see Tignanello, they order.
Yeah, I mean, the small vineyard stuff, even if it's good, sometimes it's unrecognizable, right? As somebody like me who I couldn't tell the difference, right? If I'm seeing it on a shelf.
Yeah.
But I know some of the restaurants you go to, small vineyard wines. I don't know.
Does it taste like this wine?
Exactly.
So we actually do on our special menu. We keep 3 wines that are small vineyard, whatever. Just ours our recommendation. So it's today we put on it's a white wine from Amalfi. Actually, my brother just came back from the Amalfi Coast. It was Marissa Cuomo's Bianco she makes, and we take inspiration. So that's our special white, right? Yeah. So you went to the vineyard. It's a little inspirational all over. So it's pretty fun.
Does Caitlin get to come in and say, hey,
okay, so
menu?
I have easy.
She goes in, she eats, but she also gives me a lot of thought. Even with this event, just by being here and having dinner with me, talking to the person having the event, came up with a lot of great ideas, and she's been very helpful to me for a multitude of reasons recently. And we both work a lot, and we try to have dinner here at night. I was previously I'm divorced, whatever. So I did at first that I tried to do where I don't want them at my restaurant, whatever. And I said, it's such a big part of my life. It's important to maybe involve my partner and what's going on, and meet for dinner at the end of the night.
I mean, I know what it's like at work. Some days you're just your head's on fire. You're trying to do it, and then you're with your significant other, your kids show up or your parents show up, and you're just what's going on here?
Right? Stress sometimes.
Yeah, but it's when everybody's involved, it changes that dynamic a little bit, right? And you trust that person, and it ends up tying everything together.
Yeah, and it's she's been very supportive, and I feel like I'm making her proud when I come to work every day, and it's doing stuff.
And then she put you to work at the farm as well.
Yeah.
We're very like-minded, I would say.
So oddly enough, the party I had here on Saturday, he's also my landlord at the farm I live in Gladstone, and it's been great to us. And
So you have a farm as well, and so both of you are have a little.
Yeah.
I know a little.
Yeah, I think between the two of us probably right now live on. I'm on 69. You're on what?
No, 218.
218. Gosh, wow.
And it's interesting because I thought I'm a New Yorker, I'm kind of into more of the modern sleek kind of stuff. Then I'm start spending time in there. I'm this is kind of cool. And the fact that the driveway, the gate to the house is 1 mile away from the door.
Yeah.
So I'm this is being in peace. You can die here and no one's finding out. That's one thing. Negative, but you could also use the driveway as a racetrack. So it's there's a lot of cool stuff going on, and it's just in nature has been so impressive. I never really in Bergen County you see a deer here and there.
Yeah.
Here we got bobcats. There's bear. I'm pulling in a friggin' 800-pound bear is crossing the thing.
They show up to my front door.
There's bald eagles. I feel like I'm this is the most American thing ever. Just living in this place, and I've been lucky to share it with my daughter, my family, and it's for the time I'm there, I'm trying to make the best of it. And
I mean, it's probably nice too. Like you're here, everything's so hectic, right? You're like,
Exactly.
you're like running it, and you just want to like shut out a little bit and like calm down. Like you don't need to see a neighbor, you don't need to see anything.
you don't need to see anybody.
The
Yeah.
economy of it. You know?
Yeah, you needed that economy.
It is kind of that was always, I never really left work and went back to a common place. Now it's like I feel like I'm working like late, hard, drinking a little bit, then you go back and it's just like, yeah, that's it. And it's a cool. I think it's going to help with my longevity in this business. But
You need the balance. You need to find some balance because
I'm lucky. I like that. My dad is different. Like he's low key. On my day off, I like to have fun, and like she knows that, and like we make the best of it, and it's just that I'm not at the point where I just want to like sleep all day on my day off.
Yeah.
sometimes you need to rest it out. But what as far as like the restaurant, what you guys are doing, is it a lot of trying to do the events and stuff like that? Is there something with the events that like you're really trying to gear it towards? Do you like doing the weddings? Is it more like corporate type stuff?
So during the week, we do a lot of corporate dinners, like pharmaceutical companies, law firms, stuff like that. On the weekend is really the bread and butter. It's the events we kind of designed this space because there's so many country clubs around here.
Yep.
A lot of people don't like having the rehearsal dinner or the shower. Or they like to break it up. So I was like, this is gonna be a great event space. I mean, it's unique in itself, and we've been hitting. My thing was we had probably got, let's say, 300 to 400 inquiries a week for the private events. A lot of them are, BS. They want a $30 deal, and like I made the decision instead of lowering my price point to keep it at where it is because it dilutes the brand. So if you're doing the buffet for 30, 50, yeah, okay, you're doing a little business, but I have tons of overhead here, and guess what? Then you lose out on those super high-end events that we get quite often, So if you want to do those repetition of them, you can do it, but it's...
So how does it work if somebody like rents out, you had the wedding last night, like you close it down from a retail perspective?
So basically we have a F&B minimum. So you have to give us obviously advance because it's for me to close the door on our regular customers. I don't like doing it. They get pissed off and it's just money-wise, it's not worth it. But for me, if you want to, I've had the place close down on a Saturday for 13 people.
Yeah.
They paid the full price. Yeah. Drank good. They ate good. They just wanted the whole place to themselves. I was like, okay. So it's pretty, it's a unique little, it's a niche thing, the private events in this area. We catch from the hotel, the Pendry.
Yeah.
That's bringing in a whole different, the people are buying out that whole hotel. We're doing a lot of business with them.
Yeah, because they do conferences and stuff. Yeah. And then and we have the pharmaceutical companies right here. You have Verizon.
Sanofi, we do. They're moving to more south, but still they're good people with us. And, when the company's paying, people like to spend, so it's like, it's fun too because it's like, the a la carte's just the same thing. Well, it's never the same, but it's just the same repetition. So the events can be a little, to be creative. And, my manager's name is Mike as well. He's been a big help, and he's responsible to all the inquiries. And, it's been pretty good. And, I said the catering hall business is the best business. You know what's coming in before. It's in big numbers. They pay before.
Right. It's like what food to order. You know what they're gonna eat.
Yeah. So orders for a la carte. We have 97 items on our menu. How do we know? So our thing also is we prefer ordering, especially with seafood. I'd rather say I ran out than keep seafood around. We order it every night. One of us is always calling. Myself or my father calls in the fish order every night. We usually keep a salmon fillet sole always around, and then we do a catch. Like we don't even know what's coming in. Right? They just whatever looks good in the market shows up at the back door. We between halibut, red snapper, soft shell crabs.
Is it hard to find like the distributors? Or you guys work with this comfort level with?
So when it came to 80% of our distributors, they came out to us in Jersey from New York. The ones which we have long relationships with them. And then when it came to the fish, which is a big part of our game, we still use for the scallops the hand-picked dry diver scallops. These are like $46 a pound.
When he told me that, I'm like, I'm not ordering.
It's our favorite food, of course. But like these things they cost more than beef. Like they're beautiful. They're like under $7 a pound, $46.95 a pound. We get 5 in an order. So these certain dishes like that we don't make money on. Right. But you bring in a high-end clientele with having those high-end items. So we still get those from Val's Ocean Pacific. And then the one thing was the fresh fish guy that would go into the market every day. So I wanted Metropolitan Seafood because Mark's friend of mine, and they have the best stuff. I don't care if they're pricey; they do the best.
They do a good job, yeah.
But he said he doesn't really do the wholesale like that, whatever. He helps me out when I'm in a pinch, whatever. But But Pete's Fish Market in Midland Park. He goes in every day to the market. That's where we basically same thing we had in Brooklyn. And like even like our produce, like you wouldn't guess, but our produce guy, he only services Korean supermarkets. His name is Mr. Kim. Known him 35 years. Don't understand a word he says, but he gets the best. And like if you go to a Korean supermarket, they have the best produce there, you know. And he comes out here and, you know, he comes 3 times a week with produce. Then in between we use like Baldor for smaller orders because they break you. Like when you go to the market, you have to buy a full case or something. So Baldor has these Panther packs where you can order a half a case or this and that. So it makes it easier. And especially if you only have one item. And one special item has one piece of produce that only used in that thing.
Yeah, that's tough.
Especially the desserts and stuff. We make all the desserts in house, which is another. Nobody's doing that anymore.
Impressive.
So it's our original. Even the gelatos are a can churned, and you know, we keep sorbetto on and different flavor each. We're running right now bocce gelato as a special, like the bocce, the Italian. It means kiss in Italian. We made a gelato based around that. So it's all fun stuff.
What's the hardest part of the restaurant business?
Well, the easiest part is putting the food in the dish. So we'll start with that. The hardest part is employees. You know, you never know. Like everyone has different things. Everyone has personal lives. You know, it's you just rely on people to come to work every day. I could tell you this year for Mother's Day, the busiest day of the year, my main pasta cook was getting married that day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you didn't plan it around Mother's Day. Oh, you didn't know it was Mother's Day. I'm like, so we were down one man on Mother's Day.
Yeah.
And it was tough, but listen. You get angry inside when like people don't consider business in it, but then again, you also have to remember people do have lives. I chose this life to own it, but to them it's just a job, you know. So.
In any business, I think employees are just the hardest part, right? Because you have a certain mentality as an owner, right?
Yeah. Why don't they get it? You know, it's like,
they'll never get it, right?
But when you surround yourself with a team that of people who understand it's for the fight. It's not just, you know, I have 141 dependents on me. Like I can't sleep at night. Like sometimes like thinking about people's problems and the whole nine. And you know, it's that's when people understand it's not just about them. It's a whole team and a whole family. That's when, and our staff is top notch. I'm so proud of everyone that works here. And you know, these people are more than just staff, but friends, family, and like, you know.
I mean, you have a lot of faces that like I recognize from being in that are just always here.
We've like in 2.5 years, maybe 2 people in the front of the house changed the kitchen, not one bit of different. Just to today we open.
Yeah. Is the kitchen hard from like bringing in new people or trying to grow it? Just like
politics in the kitchen.
Okay.
You know, so it's like the guy, our main, so 4 or 5 guys in our kitchen commute from New York every day. They used to work for us in Brooklyn, which is the ultimate sign of respect to us. But you know, the issue is, you know, the guy I work on the broiler, calling out the orders, like just as my dad does. And the guy that works next to us, he's worked next to us our whole lives, and you know, if he doesn't like the person working next to him, that person's not going to wind up working there. You know, so we have to find people that fit the role.
Everybody's got to play their piece.
Yeah. They got to respect him as like the underboss and like you know. So it's we actually, you know, we hired somebody to kind of replace us off the stove, because in a place like this we should really just be overseen, but it would just never slow down. There's no time to train. So we hired someone as a head line cook chef, and he the guy that works next to me,
it flums out real quick.
He says, I'll never forget he said this. He says, unless you find another me work next to me, I can't take your spot. I'm like, come on, I agree with that. This here, but he pushes real hard for us and the team, and he puts everything in line when it's.
I mean, you probably feel like employees are just the hardest part of it, and even you could have the best person, most qualified individual, and they don't vibe with the team. It's counterproductive.
Yep.
Right? And I deal with that a lot in my business. I'm like, all right, this person just doesn't fit.
You could also say, you know, I always say I tell everyone, I said, I don't need any Derek Jeters here. I said, I want all clutch hitters. I want everyone to come to work, do their job, get home, do whatever you do. I don't care how weird you are. Don't be weird here. You know, like, but just come to work, do your job. And, you know, it's a respect house here. First rule we have is when you come in, you come say hello. And when we leave, you say goodbye. It's the minimal respect in there. Yeah. So it's you start respecting the respect. So I'm good at that. It's a little bit what's going on there.
Cohesivity that he has here. Like, I didn't understand anything about the restaurant industry before I met him, obviously. But watching him and watching the respect that his team has for him, it's really impressive.
A lot of it is, you know, there's a like a military saying where like you pick up the brass, right? So after like a range day, the higher ranks are the ones picking up all the the brass, right? It's the worst job.
Yep.
And like what you're saying, like, hey, I'm working in the kitchen, I'm doing this, right? Like that's
They see it.
we lead by example. That's our number one thing. And these the crew, they see that. And I worked with my dad and my uncle, and there was like you in the kitchen, like they're these gods. Like, God, they're scared of that. I said, when I'm the boss, I said I don't want to do it like that. I said I want to be man with people. Guess what? Like, I got lucky to be in this seat, but well, I don't know if it's lucky, but I guess I'm in this seat, and it's was lucky, but I'm just one of them. I'm just one of them. It's good cop, bad cop, like that, I guess.
Do you think that the restaurant business still has like flexibility of owning your own business, or is it like a little bit more
I think
tied in?
Okay, so it depends. I'm going to be opening multiple places in my life. There's a few in the works, and I promised the people here that it was my father and my father and myself on the stove, and I'm not going to break that promise. If I do another place, there's going to have to be more manager. Like, we don't have,
Sure.
We have a maitre d' who's kind of our manager, but like we do all the ordering, all the everything the manager, we do it.
Yeah.
You also, you make more money doing that because there's less. But then guess what? You're tied to the place.
Yeah.
But it's the next places we do. It's gonna be more of a manager ran and stuff like that. But this place is so special that it's.
That's the way it was when you guys were in Brooklyn too.
Exactly, and the menu's so complicated. If we're not here, it's going to be a disaster. So instead of my big plan was like, I want to do another restaurant. I want to do another restaurant. I got to find the jet of space, and it's been so difficult to. Well, one, it's going to be difficult to replicate what this place has. So my new, what we're attempting to do is we want to do multiple of the trattorias. It's easier to find, like, say, distressed bars that people want to retire, and you could go in and renovate it to look like that. And I think that we have a real niche business up there because every sports bar you go to, it's the same thing. There's burgers, there's wings, they throw a quesadilla on there. It's just what it is. So
100% the reason we come here is like that
it's
there's a
right.
meal.
Exactly.
You could have a meal that's not like.
And you could dress in whatever.
Yeah.
Scrub sometimes.
Yeah, and it's like that's why I think this would be like in multiple towns, people would appreciate what we do up there. There's people like hanging out at sports bars. I like hanging out at sports bars, but do I necessarily like the food? No, but it's unique having Italian food.
And you get a little bit of a different clientele there too, right? Like, you could actually go there, hang out. Like, I go there, bunch of dads, right? And we're all just like hanging out, trying to get out for a night for a few hours, and like you don't deal with all the craziness of like going into Morristown or going to you're just going out. You can have drinks, you can have great food, and we don't have like to sit down and have a meal, but we can just
or some maps, hang at the bar, have some beers. It's real laid back up there, and that's always been my thing there. It's like,
you guys hang out up there most. Like, when I see you come eat, you guys are up there.
It's like the issue. Like I always said, like I don't want to deal with people, and I don't want to deal with people, but like sometimes you have to put your up here. I had to kiss a lot of ass.
Yeah.
Down here at this restaurant, there's a lot of high-ranking people. I have to go around and shake hands, and sometimes if I'm gonna walk through the dining room, not shake hands, I'm not walking to the dining room. So we go up there, we have a little dinner, we hang out, it's laid back. Usually there's a group that joins us around us. We have our regulars here are pretty awesome. And some people are here 6 nights a week, some people are 5 nights a week. And we get all these celebrities here. Mike Tyson is here. Eli Manning, but the real celebrities are the people that come here 3 times a week, 4 times a week.
I think I saw some Jets players here once or twice.
Yeah, they do Saquon's. They all.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty cool clip.
Very cool. What I guess into like, if you kind of alluded to a little bit, looking at other restaurants and stuff like that, is that you think the natural path of where you want to go with it?
Yeah, I mean, we're also involved in the commercial real estate, but for me, I missed the feeling of like the couple of days before I was opening this place.
Yeah.
And I don't think I could not open another place. It's at least 1 or 2 more, and then it just when you see like your ideas come to fruition, and like it's like this was like everything I dreamed of in a restaurant, and it worked.
You guys do a lot of the work.
It was a heavy cosmetic renovation. We took possession.
I don't remember what it was before.
It was Rudolph's Steakhouse, and it was like it looked like a friggin' barn in here. Like, not one person would hang out that bar. It was yellow and red. It was disgusting mahogany. So I told my designer, I'm like, listen, I said, nobody goes to this bar. I said, we need to make something impactful. Where the people are like, we got to go to that bar. And he's like, I know exactly what to do. I said, and they started painting it that blue. me and my dad are like, holy shit, there's so much blue here. We're like, this is ridiculous. He's like, don't worry. And we're going to do the details and this. And it really worked out. And that blue bar kind of made a little name for ourselves here.
Very cool.
I mean, the stone walls were here. You can't take them down. You can't put them back up. I think it's historic. But this was, we whitewashed that. I had an artist come paint that. And it was pretty.
The building itself is also a historic building.
Yes.
So they limited you on what you can do to it.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, at first the town was so excited because this is the corner of the town. They were, we renovated the whole place in 55 days.
Wow.
From the day we got the keys and we opened. We started renovating beginning of January. We opened on March 4th.
The kitchen was decent. Like, is it a do?
First thing we did was we hired a professional cleaning company. It was disaster.
Yeah.
Like, the kitchen's our office.
Yeah.
I could eat off the floor in my kitchen. Like, that's where we work. We don't want it to grease. So it's a palace back there, in my opinion. But it's a lot of guys that don't work don't pull it apart on the once a week and clean out the vents. It's like they're not standing there. It's like they're sitting in their nice office. It's like, so that's it was this, and then we kept adding on and on. We built 2 walk-in boxes, just to do this. If this place is thriving, we're doing thousands of people a week, thousands, and like you needed back office infrastructure. We're light on dry storage. The 3rd floor actually has a cigar lounge. So now, there's a little funny story about that. So the former owners had it, and it was a members club where you had a cigar locker and all this, and you get a group of guys together, and sometimes that doesn't equal good ideas, and they were doing the wrong type of things up there with certain stuff. So the owner that I bought it from, he never opened it again because of the bad reputation it had. So I kind of we have so many employees, we have 71 people, that there was no back office space for a break room or this and that. So we it could have been cool, but the layout is you'd have to walk by my office. There's a lot of back office stuff to get there. And guess what? When people pay a membership, they think they own you. Yeah. It's like, listen, you come, you eat, whatever. They would never want to leave. It would just be constant headaches. And that's kind of well, I'm like, it's better, let's not complicate this and let's keep doing what we're doing. And I like the idea of having a members only club, but then again, I don't need people saying.
Yeah. And the bar was always there upstairs.
So when we took possession, we operated. It was called the Tavern. We ran it as it is with the same menu for 2 months while we were renovating down here, just to make sure the place didn't go stagnant. When a place shuts down, people are like, we told our story to the people. It was just it kept it floating. And the Tino Blues over there, he actually, the one employee I kept at the place was Tino, and he was one of the reasons why I bought the place too. It just
what was on the menu at the Tavern?
Oh, it was like wings. I'll never forget the first day we closed. It never shut doors, not even one day. We made the exchange of keys, rerouted the bank accounts, and the first day so Rudolph didn't tell him he was selling. He came in and he said, hey, listen, this is your new boss, Mike. I sold the restaurant. If he likes you, you can stay. If not, you're all fired. So I said, unfortunately, we don't have room for anyone right now. And because when I was coming here to talk to Rudolph, they treated me like a dog. So I said, nah, so you didn't know who I was, and now you do. So Tino stayed, and it was the first day the kitchen guys that worked there. I said, listen, the kitchen people stay. We'll figure it out, whatever. So the first day, nobody shows up to work. So me and my dad, the tickets start coming in. Hamburger, wings, extra spicy. So we're sitting there got the aprons on, started making wings and flipping burgers. So it's it was pretty fun. And guess what?
It's a shared kitchen between the two.
Yeah. So when they're both cranking, it's a war zone back there.
Yeah.
It's wild. But then your adrenaline kicks in, and it's kind of, but then she sees me at the end of the night sometimes, and I'm like, this place is packed, and then I come out, and I'm like, so are you okay? I'm like, do you see adrenaline when it goes down? It's like you're like coming off of something, and I'm like, yeah, I'm good.
What's the busiest part of the night? Like 7 to 9?
Well, we actually don't take reservations at 7:30. We never have. I learned that from an old trick in New York from Carbone. I'd have to say, no matter what time you ask to go, they don't have a reservation available. Even if it's 45 minutes earlier or later, it makes the appearance of exclusivity and that you're fully booked, and that's people. So the first person called to make a reservation the day I opened the reservations, I answered every single phone call, and not one person did I give them the time that they asked for. I said, no, we're fully committed at that time. This is that, even though I had no reservations. And it kind of built in, when we opened here, it was in the middle of the pandemic, and we had limited seating, so the people who wanted to come try this store, it just got up the bill. It was 2 months we were booked out for, and it was wild, and we were just like,
I remember that point when you guys opened and everybody was like, can't get reservations there, can't get reservations.
People still say, I'm like, okay, listen, if you want to come 7:30 on Saturday, we don't have a reservation. But listen, the beauty of beauty here is on the weekend. Saturdays we do a full seating at 4 o'clock, and then we do another one at 6, 6:15, 6:30.
Usually I'm an old man, I eat early, so I'm always like, every time I call you guys, like, yeah, we're good.
Yeah, and then at like then we're actually one of the only places in the area that does like an 8:30, 8:45 seating full one. You know, because they know we're not kicking anyone out. You know, we should be hanging out at the bar too. You know, so we try to encourage the fun here, and so, you know.
I always sit in the bar and I'll watch people walk in at like 8:30, 9 o'clock, and I'm like, oh, he's not going to be out for a little bit. It's wild to see.
Yeah, it's and you know that's the thing. Like I wouldn't walk into. I don't want to name any other restaurants, but at 8:30, people give me dirty looks. People know that's part of the game here. We do late seatings.
Yeah, I'm always worried about like, you know, being kitchen's about to close. Anybody want anything? Yep.
This we announced, but it's generally on the later side. You know?
Yeah, the guys upstairs at the bar are awesome.
They're so good.
I always forget their names.
Those are like family. Andrew and Greg down here is great. Gio worked us for 34 years. It's a pretty good family, and you know they represent us really well, and you know we treat them really well, and that's the revolving thing. I mean, right now you work with your sisters,
Yeah.
so that's interesting. Right? They're great. I mean, you could trust them fully, which is awesome.
It's a different dynamic for sure. You could definitely trust them. It's hard to tell your sisters what to do. You know what I mean? But I think there's a level of respect there with my family where it's like, all right, you do this, I do this. Let's delegate, divide, and conquer.
You guys have a big family.
I'm a big family.
So there's 5 sisters, no brothers.
One brother.
One brother.
Last.
Poor guy. You guys torture him.
We do torture him. I mean,
He's a great.
we stopped because we take it seriously now, but we definitely torture him.
Yes. So a little bit of the family business now, or like at least tying into it.
Yeah.
With another local business.
So I've learned a lot from Michael, like just even spending time sitting here. I mean, I learned about, how he operates his business, the dynamics of his team, the ins and outs. And it's funny, I think in the past, if somebody were like, Keelan, you need to do it this way or do payroll that way. One thing about Michael, he's like, Keelan, can I make a suggestion? He's like, I understand you run this business, but we use this or we do it this way. And I've learned so much that way. And I think I was able to kind of kickstart the business faster because of A, the resources that Michael's had, and B, just watching him lead. It's really impressive to see.
The one thing that I always do in my business is like when we hire new people or when somebody comes in, and I'll always ask them, what did you guys do there? It's after I'm going to give you 60 days here. I want you to come back to me with what you think we can do better, right? Come here, look at how we do it, right? And then tell me what we could do different. Bring me different systems. Bring me different, hey, we use this system instead of that one. It was a million times better.
That's a good point.
And we do that. I make it a point to sit with them after they're with us for a little bit and let them poke holes in it and just be super open to it, right? Because some of the stuff hurts, right? Some of the stuff you're like,
You're like, I thought I was doing this well.
I spent months fucking putting that together.
They have it all figured out.
Yeah. And it's good to do it, but I'm sure even with your, doing like a family business now, or trying to just tie everybody in together, you guys have similar backgrounds, you guys know each other so well, right? And it's like, hey, how do we grow this thing and make it thrive?
It's hard, right? I'm in a science-based type of practice, so there's medicine involved, right? And I think medicine doesn't teach you concierge. It doesn't teach you customer service. So one thing that I've learned is the customer service part of medicine, which I think is where we're heading in medicine altogether. But teaching that to my sisters who, they worked in the hospital, they worked in other settings where you have to say, hi, welcome. Can I give you water? What can I get you? How can I help you? Yeah. It's humbling to do, but it's vital to the success of the business. And I learned that obviously from Michael too.
Do you think the wellness space that you're in, right? You call it the wellness space for the most part, right? Absolutely. That wellness space is going to be the future of medicine. It's hard, right? You have the reactive medicine of your hospitals, and everybody's going there, they're sick already, right? But then you're dealing with, in the wellness space, and you're like, hey, how do we do more preventative, and how do we kind of get in front of, doing blood work that people never did before?
Yeah. I think we know more, right? We know more with our blood work, the portfolio, the background of our own genetics. I think in the past, medicine was, you got sick, you went to your doctor, you went to the hospital, and everything, like you said, is reactive. I think we have the resources now to be more proactive. We know more about peptides. We know more about
It's a big thing to peptide.
Yeah,
I'm
huge.
big on the peptides.
I know.
She just took one, and she's like sharp.
Yeah, AB plus.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did it work? Like it works?
I got a little bit of that like buzz at first, but my energy level was super high. So
I'm doing the TB5. I'm doing the. He's like, she didn't need it.
She gave you less.
I'm doing the BPC 157 with the TB500,
Amazing.
and there's nothing else I can say that my shoulder was really jacked up. I did like a Spartan race last year, and like I couldn't even sleep. Like I was like, all right, definitely need surgery. Went, talked to like 2 or 3 doctors. They're all like, yeah, like it's jack surgery.
Yeah.
My wellness doctor, like, I was like, hey, what do you think about some peptides just to help me recover?
Yeah.
And he's like, have you even tried them, period, to see if like you could avoid surgery? And I was like, no. Started the BBC 157 with the TB500. Literally in like 3-4 weeks, my shoulder felt 10 times better.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to postpone the surgery. Within like 3 months, I don't need surgery anymore.
Wow.
And like every once in a while, like it'll bother me a little bit, and I'll take another cycle, and I feel great. So like it's one of those things that like I swear by, and
yeah.
I don't know how much of it's like placebo or whatever you want to call it, but like the reality to it is,
It is.
it kept me keeping me out of the knife. So
We know so much more about anti-aging and proactive medicine. I think the peptides are awesome. The one downside about my industry is that it's a moneymaker, right? Yeah. So there's so many people that want to provide it. They don't have the ancillary resources around what that means. So I just think that wherever you go to, you just have to be really aware of their knowledge of these peptides.
and the peptide distributors and where you're getting them from, and like it's so sketch, right?
Little weird.
Yeah, it gets a little weird. So like I get them from my doctor because like I trust it a little bit more.
Exactly.
Right, because like he's used them, he's like getting them from the same people. But like you could go online and buy some of this stuff, and you're just like, you know, you're reconstituting it at home, and you're like, this is just a bad idea.
I know.
Like, I feel like a chemist.
It's the Wild West, and it's not as regulated. So
I'm not gonna lie. After when I first met her, I didn't know really what she did, and she was doing.
And now she keeps you at 110 pounds.
Yeah.
Working in a restaurant. You know how fat I'd be back there, but
I said
crushing raviolis like all day long.
I said everyone's like it was actually just happened. We were don't get mad. We listened. Yeah. So we were packed. Yeah, we had whatever, and I didn't have a chance. I don't eat all day at night, and kitchen calls. I'm like, forget about it, whatever. I said I got hot dogs at my house. I'll throw in the grower. So I said, everyone's joking around. They're like, I have Caitlin make. I said, no, the only thing Caitlin makes me is probiotic and vitamin B in the morning. Yeah, I said, that's it.
I do. Yeah, I'm not very domestic, but I will.
Okay.
I will make sure he's hydrated and has the right.
So, yeah, listen, you need to get an IV pack at home.
Exactly.
I'm
not you.
I cook at home. I mean, I'm the only in my house. My wife doesn't cook. I cook.
Yeah.
So like I'm saying, I grew up in a Spanish and Italian household. My grandmother cooked all the time. We all lived pretty close to each other. So I had like the super Italian side. I grew up in Newark, so like you had that very Italian like Newark side of things.
Newark Italian versus Brooklyn Italian.
He's Brooklyn Italian. I'm Newark Italian.
I think it's just different, but like it was more. That's more old school, where the Newark Italians tend to be, in my opinion, like more Americanized, right? Like sometimes like second generation. Like my mom wasn't born there, my grandparents weren't born there.
Yeah.
Right. So you get that like a little bit more of an Americanized Italian side.
That makes a lot of sense.
I actually never agree with that.
But like, I find a lot of like resemblance in like the food, right? At times you're just like, okay, this, garlic. Yeah, like the garlic or like certain, like I said, like my grandmother's meatballs, like I would only find them when I went to certain restaurants in New York, and you're like, okay, this is probably the closest thing that the style,
Must
right?
be in Newark.
Yeah, but like it. But then like my dad is first generation. He was born in Venezuela, but his parents were born in Spain. Like that whole like, you would culturally not that different, but from a food perspective, very different. And like I just grew up with it. So like I was oats cooking, my mom's cooking. My mom would cook Spanish food and like learning it from my grandmother. So
it's a great thing.
We pick it up, but it's an interesting.
People ask if I cook at home, and like I'm like,
honestly, you cook very well.
At home. Sorry, so no, like my thing is like a lot of the times I'm like I don't want to look at the saute pan or anything, but like even like we were here late on Saturday night. I'm like, grab some lunch. I'm like, I don't feel like going out again, so we just boiled some water, made a quick sauce, and put a little fresh mozzarella in there. It was nice. So like I'll do, and then sometimes I get the itch to cook, like at home, because it's like got this beautiful kitchen, and I'm like, I want to hang out at the house. Like, because I'm always going out, but like I want to hang out at the house, and like grilling's my thing. You know, I love grilling.
And as a guy, we all like grilling.
Yeah,
it's like the go-to.
Yeah, it's
what's like, are you? I had a few friends that had restaurants, and like I would like literally go in and like talk to the chef, be like, I'll make you something, and like, you know, just like this, and because they knew I would eat anything, right? And they would like put something together off menu for me. But like, do you guys do that back there? You like just, you know, Caitlin wants something, and you just go.
So what it is? She does that with the drinks here.
I know.
I have a full restaurant down here. I packed upstairs, and she's making the bartender go down and getting a special margarita.
I didn't realize.
I said, Caitlin, those are off the menu tonight. Please.
Yes.
No, but you know, we have, so our menu's
Massive.
It's small compared to what it used to be.
Really?
We had veal 28 different ways.
I mean, it's big for high-end restaurants.
So like, yes, it is. But my thing is, like, when people are like, oh, can you take a veal franchise? It's on the menu. But if I'm not, if you know, they take a few more minutes, or you know, if we're not that busy, I'll do it. Like, there's certain stuff that people ask for that it's just in the wheelhouse. Yeah. Like chicken marsala. Yeah, it's like we can make it, you know, but it just takes a few extra minutes. So chicken piccata is not on the menu.
Yeah. You have capers in the back.
Spicy chicken I had the other day. It was so
It's chicken pizza. So chicken pizza with spicy pepper.
good.
But like even like, but veal pizza, I eat veal pizza all the time. Like I eat like an old school guinea, like I bake clams and like veal pizza or like a veal chop. But like it's like certain stuff like that we had on the old menu in Brooklyn. Like, you know, people, especially we have customers that used to be customers in Brooklyn that come here and they still request the stuff that they're like, oh, can you make potato croquettes? I'm like, they're not. That's like something I can't do. But like, if you give me a week in advance, I'll do it for you. But you know,
They know your dad's back there.
Exactly.
I'm like, so like I've affinity to the customers in Brooklyn. My dad has even more of an affinity to them. You know, their business to help us grow up and whatever. You know, I worked there. It wasn't like the boss, but like,
I mean, you were born in what, like the 80s?
No, 91.
I was born in the
I mean, not far off. 5 years under. But like, I'm sure your dad was like back there and like, you know, working in the 80s and the early 90s, and like, you know, they were just
right.
You know, those are his people.
Yeah, and you know, we actually have a new generation here. Like he saw people get engagement parties in Brooklyn. Then he saw them with baptisms, baby shower, and he saw them getting married. So we actually have a generation of people here where I now saw them get married. Then they had like parties here, and then they had a child, and like now they have. It's like the generations are growing with the place, and we actually have speaking of generations, few employees that do. We have a gentleman that works for us, and his two kids work for us as well. Like we have a bunch of families working for us. That's pretty cool. That's we understand. There's like I think 4 people I work with my dad, and they're working with dad too.
Yeah, I in my office. Well, I have 2 cousins and my sister that work for me now, but then we also have one of like my managers, her kid works for us too, and like it's
how do you handle it?
Nepotism's hard.
Yeah, it is.
Like nepotism's really hard, right? But like I'm kind of an asshole, so like they know that, you know, it's you're here, and I think they want to deliver. And like, you know, my sister's really good. My cousins, like, they tried like really hard, and like, you know, so like you're gonna give it to them, right? They came into it because they had the background. I was hiring for a position, and they fit the bill, right? It wasn't like just handing.
Right.
They actually came through. During COVID, we were super busy, right? Rates were like nothing, and we were so swamped. So we're like, we couldn't hire. And I like looked internally. I was like, all right, which one of these maniacs can I bring in here? And like, you know, because I have 12 first cousins on my dad's side.
Oh.
So I was just like, all right, you get your ass in here.
Right. Again, you trust family.
Yeah, you trust them, right? And that's a big part of it, is like you can put up with a little bit more. You know that they have your back. Like,
you also can talk to them a little bit differently.
Yes.
Like, I find myself speaking to my sister, and I'm like, I probably should have been a little bit more professional, but they're like, can you pick that up? Like, can you please pick that up? So I have to.
Your own HR department, you know, it's a thing. You know, it's funny. I guess I'm lucky in a way my brothers aren't involved, because, you know, I think being a parent, a father and son, for instance, it's a little bit different than, because then you're involving another person's family with that, and it's the father son was I don't know if I'd be able to take my brother's work here, to be honest, because
Did you guys get along growing up? Or?
Yeah, so I'm the youngest. My middle brother, Chris, he's 14 months older than me, so we're really close. And then my older brother, we all were at Bergen Catholic for 1 year together. Anthony was a senior, I was a freshman, Chris was a sophomore. So that was pretty cool.
There was a time, we went to Jonathan Dayton in Springfield. There was a time where I had at least one family member in every grade in high school, and in most grades too. Because we all lived so close to
We
each
just
other.
talked about that. Your nieces and nephews.
They're all like tied together.
Yeah.
The same classes, the same
It's
camp.
wild.
It makes for some really interesting parties. Like in high school, because we would like throw a party at my parents' house like when they went out, and we'd have 150 people there.
Great.
And like the high school only has 150 people, like it's small.
Front sign group.
Yeah. And everybody shows up because like the family is throwing the party, right?
Exactly. They're gonna have good food.
Yeah. Listen, so it would get interesting fast.
Yeah.
We were known for having food at our parties too.
Really?
Yeah.
Italian way.
I can only see you guys just showing up with the trays and.
I like to throw a good party just still.
He does.
Yeah, we're working on a next one. What's coming up? We're gonna they're coming tomorrow morning.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're gonna do the ski shooting in my backyard, and not gonna get the pizza truck to talk all that stuff.
Yeah, we did. I did a party at my house for Memorial Day. It's my birthday. It's my daughter's birthday, and we have
a Gemini.
I'm a Gemini.
Yeah, we get fortunate.
Both are Gemini.
Me too. That's bad.
So the other side.
So yeah, we'll switch seats.
Yeah.
I get that so much, man. They're like, oh, you're a Gemini.
Of course.
Like, yeah,
So I get.
Scorpio, guys, we're both kind of the outcast of the astrological divorce. Gemini and Scorpios.
Yeah.
Well, so my thing is with people say that that Gemini's all that they're bipolar.
Yeah.
I say I have that very hard working side. Like I work like an immigrant, and then I also know how to enjoy myself.
Yeah.
So that's my double side.
You spin it, the positive.
Yeah.
I like that.
I have totally on or totally off. Like I'm 100% on. I'm working. I'm doing 50 things. I have like 3 businesses. I'm like going for it, or I'm like totally off.
Yeah.
You're on the couch in sweatpants.
Yeah. Leave me alone. And I sit down for 3 minutes. I'm sleeping. Like
You're like that too. You can go to sleep quick.
Well, you get home at the end of the night. I got a guy here that does watching the place of security. You should probably sort of date him up there. Bald headed guy.
Yeah.
So he watched, and then he
Stands by a door. Like
yeah. He and then he Ubers to the house, and then he drives. He Ubers here, and then he drives him home, and his car's at the house.
Yeah.
So it's like half the time I'll glass of wine, I'm like this in the side seat because it's been like an 18-hour day or whatever. So it's important to have your people around you to take care of you, especially if you're working a certain way, and when you have people watching you.
I get that too.
Kaylin, how do you split time right now in your business?
Honestly, it's gotten actually easier. I think before I was commuting to Morristown and then balancing my nursing company. Now I work with my sister who helps run my nursing company. And so everything's in one location, which is nice. And yeah, I just kind of focus everything at one spot.
So you're doing the nursing, and then you're doing.
I'm running basically a med spa. So sisters are there working.
So you're not in Morristown at all anymore.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's for the better.
Yeah. It's been I will say, like, I've always had the goal. I didn't know how I was going to get there, and life kind of forced me on a certain path, and I'm grateful that I'm here.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a great location that you guys have there.
Yeah.
Like just in the center of Basking Ridge is.
Exactly. Good foot traffic.
Yeah.
I grew up in Basking Ridge. My mom works the call banker right there. My dad is an attorney down the street. So there's a lot of family coming in and out.
I mean, my kids hang out at the spot all the time, which is like crazy. My kids are always in there.
Yeah.
Because their friends' moms own it.
Yep.
Right. So like they're just.
The Barrister coffee's good over there too.
Is it?
Yeah, the
Barrister. Yeah, the owner's a nice guy.
I haven't tried that yet.
It's really good.
I'm at Bank of America 5 days a week. Just
right across.
yeah. It's off street. I'll be driving.
Somebody said they're closing that Bank of America now.
No, they closed the other bank in the middle. It's for sale. I know.
Really?
So we're could have that space for something with some people that just try to get a liquor license, a bank, restaurant.
Is Basking Ridge hard to get a liquor license in?
So Basking Ridge is the only town recently in this area that got issued a new liquor license because the population went by 10,000 people. That's one of the first things.
What do they have except Washington House, technically?
There's only certain, so Jersey works as there was a certain amount segregated per town.
Got it.
So there's like Burnsville has like 7.
Yeah.
So my thing is with the liquor licenses, by 29 they're going to be. This was word from the director of the ABC today. But the ABC told me, he goes, by 29 they're going to be. You can just apply for one like New York here. So there's like 6 in Burnsville. It's like valued like $500,000 for a liquor license. So my thing was that the value of, if you could find a way to not buy a liquor license outright, it makes perfect sense. Basically, you find a restaurant where the landlord owns it, and you're basically operating under his license.
Right.
The whole point is that you can, instead of having to find $500,000 in cash to buy this thing, you just pay towards it. It's part of your rent almost.
Right.
So like my thing is, my retirement is not going to be selling that selling a liquor license. For me to retire, I need a lot more than a liquor license sell, but a lot of people value that. It's like a taxi medallion. It's like a weird niche, like unique, like investment that like banks, you can't lean against it. Like they don't look at it as an asset.
Oh, they won't let you?
No,
really?
It's not. Yeah, so that's why it's like super unique.
So, but if they start opening it up, then they get devalued, I would guess.
So everyone, obviously the people that own them now are going every lobbyist way to try to prevent this from happening, which I understand. But my thing, like, I profit off the sales. Like, I don't care about owning. That's not my end game. Is owning a license and selling.
And I would think that the, similar to the taxi medallions now with like Uber and everything, like kind of like, so they order down.
So the smart people sold their licenses recently. They one just traded in Morristown for $2.35 million, which is ridiculous. But it was the building didn't make sense without having a restaurant that had a liquor license in it, and underneath Sanofi's new headquarters that Scott was built.
I'm sure they have to take into consideration like the location with the profitability of that location.
It's also density of population, like especially Morristown. They say it's kind of high end people, and there's a lot of people, so that's why the value's there.
Yeah,
but it's It's a weird thing, the liquor license stuff. I mean, it's they say it's a privilege to have one, not a right. So like,
is New York not hard?
No, you just apply for it and get like $3,000.
There's just hard for everything else. Like it's like the worst place to do business.
They're not giving anywhere around East Village because it's too overly populated. There's like so many per square foot or whatever it is. But it was just a renewal process. It took us years.
Took us a little over 3 years to get our mortgage license in New York.
Wow.
Yeah.
3 years?
3 years. They torture you on everything, and then they come in every 2 years and like audit you to the point that like it's not it. Yeah. If we weren't so close and didn't do enough business there, it just wouldn't make any sense.
Right.
So if you were doing business in New York, a lot of like lenders around the country, like they just don't do business in New York. They choose not to because it's just such terrible.
We got to New York for a reason. It's New Jersey's not easy, but New York was.
New York and California are two.
It's ridiculous.
California is easy to do to do business in, but the employment law in California is
New York's employment law. That's like minimum wages.
Yeah,
it's wild.
Every time we've hired anybody in New York and in California, no matter why they leave, how they leave, they quit, they sue you after. Every time. And it's either they'll come after you individually or they'll just do like a class action. And there's like essentially like ambulance chaser lawyers that like look for this stuff.
Oh yeah,
and they'll just be like, oh, you didn't pay anybody's cell phone bill for the last like 3 years. Like here's a class action lawsuit for $500,000. And
so they in New York they tried to hit our restaurant with when someone said we owed them $2 million in overtime wages. We're like, this guy works in 6 months. Yeah. And so there's so many lawsuits that are happening in New York that there was an arbitration court just to figure out. So you had to get a credit card because we had time clocks at the time.
Yep.
So they took it, the lawyers figured that out, blah, blah, blah. And they found that people. So what happened was one guy tried to make a class action. They came with the courier and they gave everyone that was on payroll the ability to know what said. They had to hand it in. And every single person that worked for us, we stood there while they did this and they threw it in the garbage and didn't even open the envelope. Yeah. So that was respect.
Yeah, we have close to 500 employees around the country.
Wild.
So like if you take that into consideration with a decent amount of turnover because it's the mortgage business, people leave.
Yeah.
Right? Whether they leave for good reasons, bad reasons, like, they like teams, they move around kind of. So when we get a class action or we deal with something like that, they just like reach out to these people and know, I can get a few bucks, here we go. So then they come to us and they want to settle, but like, you're settling against 300-400 people, and
So we wound up the people that made the money. Those guys didn't get anything. The one waiter who the attorneys make everything.
Right.
The attorneys they probably got $20,000. Yeah,
Like we're dealing with one now, and like the attorneys are going to take 75% of it without a doubt.
So no one talks about this being in business is extremely risky.
Oh yeah,
my grandpa always said we don't feel bad for the person who got a shirt on his back. Yeah, you're gonna feel bad for the person with a shirt on their back because everyone wants to come out and take it. Everyone wants something from you, and it's like
Yeah, listen, I always say that you get the upside of it, right? There's nothing else. Entrepreneurship, there's nothing else that you get that level of upside with.
Yeah.
Right? Even if you're working as an employee for, you work at Goldman Sachs and you make, $1.5 million a year, like you can lose that tomorrow, right? Most people that are entrepreneurial in a way, hey, you lose that, you go to something else, right? You're just you're never unemployed in your head.
exactly
Right? Like you never think that way. It's always like, okay, I lose this, I go here. This doesn't work out, I try that. And, that's the risk side of it but you've accepted it, right? You've accepted that level of risk, but that upside is way more than you could get anywhere else.
Right? It's funny. I just texted her. I said, I saw online that August 12th is Italian American Heritage Day at Yankee Stadium. So I said, it's a Tuesday. We don't off. So I said, they had the best front row. I said, can you swing it Tuesday? Like, hey, it was a big Italian flag hat. It's the best. And she goes, I can swing it on the boss. I go, there you go. There's your answer. I
never normally say that, but I was like, I'm the boss.
Yeah, you can. But it's yes, I hate leaving it off, but I could kind of take off. Why? Yeah, it's just
the flip side of it is that you're either rescheduling clients or your work doesn't go anywhere, right? You're just not there that day, but next day you're making up for it, right? Or you're figuring it out, or you're getting it done. Hey, you don't get your orders in on Tuesday. Okay, on Wednesday you got to come in and do it, right? Like nobody's gonna do it for you. And
I try to avoid missing the payroll day.
Yeah,
because my dad my dad's great with this just today, yes, but he just the computer stuff. He doesn't. Yeah, I don't use a computer that well. He was always
the admin side of any business is super hard, right? It's whether you're doing billing or AP, any of that stuff is just it's a lot of work. And when whether it's a big business or a small business, it just scales, right? So it's either you're adding people to it or you're doing it yourself, but it's hard.
It is hard.
Also, there's stuff that people don't think about, like the sales tax. You think that's the money comes in, this isn't that. They collect it once a month. Yeah. On Friday, $65,000 in sales tax. That's it comes in one door and out the other. Yeah. It's you have to be profitable. It's a pretty interesting game. You have to know what you're doing. If you don't watch everything,
what a lot of people say about the restaurant business is that it either works or it doesn't work, right? You either can have a restaurant and it does really well and it's profitable, or you have a restaurant that is struggling. Is there an in-between even?
Yeah.
Listen, I don't think I'd be so happy sweating in the kitchen if I wasn't making it. Sure. There's some weeks I don't take a pay. Yeah, but that's just the way it falls. But the thing with a restaurant is it's better to have a smaller place that's packed all the time than have a monster place when there's empty seats.
Do you think that's a trick to it?
Yeah, you got to find that right groove. We're at a size right now where it's not easy to fill this every night, but it gets filled and it does volume. And, that's why if you have a monster place, one, the expenses are through the roof. And two, if you're not busy all the time, you're definitely not making money. The overhead's nuts.
It pretty much has to be. You have to try to fill it.
You fill it as much as possible. Yeah. You don't make the 6:30 dinner rush on a Saturday. You're not making any money there. You're making money at the 4 o'clock rush. 6:30 dinner rush is paid the bills. Yeah. When you're busy, when it's not the prime time to eat, that's when the money that's in your pocket. Yeah. But if you're not busy at 7 o'clock on a Friday night, you can't pay your bills. Sure. So that's the way I look at it. It's at the weird times. It's I like staying open later because I know that's gonna be profitable.
What your business is it similar to where it's volume based, or do you find it if you have 20 clients or 30 clients, there's a profit margin that's kind of built in static?
Yeah, it's a double sword, right? So the products that we get, we can get different products based on volume. So you want the volume there to lower the cost of what you're buying, but at the same time, I think I saw close to 6,000 patients last year. I think this year, the way that I like the business to run is seeing less patients and having a quality of time, but being able to show them all the resources or all the services that you provide within the business.
Yeah.
So I think if you change your mentality to having not less patients, having a good volume of patients, but having them utilize all your services, then to me, that's the win.
Yeah.
So,
People idolize, like, oh, you own a restaurant. I'm like,
because
you know what? You know,
You know what? That's exactly why, though, because it's so hard, right?
Yeah.
It's a bit of a unicorn, right? It's a bit of like, hey, you can't learn. I don't care who you can't learn to cook.
no,
Like, there's something about like learning to be in a kitchen and learning to like what food is and how it tastes and what
there's like art.
body.
There's art involved.
It's art.
it is art.
So you can't, most people can't fathom that,
Yeah.
right?
I agree.
Like, and I think that's why the restaurant business is just so intriguing to a lot of people. Is just it's unfathomable that it's easy, right? They know it's not easy because they can't do it. Like you can't just take somebody off the street and say, hey, you're gonna be a world-class chef today. Like, it's just never gonna happen, right?
I also appreciate, like, when I'll eat his food, I mean, I didn't understand the depth of appreciation of every ingredient, where it came from, how they got to source it. You know, I'm eating something and he's explaining, like, tell me, try that cheese. Was this imported direct from Italy? I mean, really? How did you get it? Well, on Tuesday, this is what happens. It's wild to me, the story of how you get your ingredients, how you source everything, how you know everything that's in every dish. You know, that's impressive.
Listen, you serve a lot of baseline items, then your dishes change with like all the unique stuff you can get. And, going back to the point about being an artist, and this, my grandpa, one of my favorite quotes, it's in our office, it's a mantra of my family. If you work with your hands, you're a laborer. If you work with your hands and your mind, you're a craftsman. And if you work with your hands, your mind, and your heart, you're an artist. And that's been his number. That's really good. Yeah. And your heart's everything. So
Yeah. I mean, you can tell when people put their heart into food, right? Like, I think that's the one thing that it comes out in, whether it's like I said, I feel like when I would go to like my grandmother's house and like she was like cooking, she'd like get mad at you if you didn't finish your plate, right? But it was so good. And she would like literally like, in Spanish, tell my dad, like, what's wrong with these kids? They're sick. Like, what's wrong? It's just,
So, P.S. I'm a bad habit of checking people's dishes when they come back to make sure.
Yeah.
If I see a dish, I said, go get the waiter to see what the hell is going on.
Yeah.
I did. It's
You never have to worry about my dish, by the way.
Yeah, just
Zero portion
scarfed
control.
it up, yeah.
There's no portion control.
Love that.
You know the like Sebastian Maniscal, the comedian.
Oh,
He's married to a Jewish girl, and he talks about like having the Italians cater like the meals for Passover. And he's like, I need bread.
Cater
in
my
front of us. Yeah.
5 seconds, I'm going to freak out. That was
That's my favorite. Guys, this is awesome. I appreciate you doing this. This is really good.
Cheers.
And I'll give you guys both a minute. Just Caitlin, if you want to kind of plug what you're doing.
Yeah. So I own a med spa called Perpetual Aesthetics and Wellness. It's in Basking Ridge. I have 2 of my sisters that work there, another nurse named Tina, so Amanda, Kellyanne, and Tina for right now. And we are a family-centric medical spa comprised of medical professionals who are awesome, and we love what we do.
Can we find you online anywhere? Instagram, anything like that?
Yes. You can find us online. You should know our website, Perpetual Wellness NJ, but our email is perpetualwellnessnj@gmail.com.
And we'll post it on the link.
Yeah.
And Michael, in terms of like, restaurant, you guys have a website. Where's the best place to make reservations? Like,
So reservations, open table. Usually there's not great time slots on that, but give us a call. Even if you want to call, on this weekend, sometimes you get a cancellation, whatever. But we take reservations a month out, and the best way to follow us on the Instagram, because it's live of what's going on here and in the kitchen while I'm cooking. I'll make this statement. If you see the videos in the kitchen, I'm cooking while making those videos.
And if you see the videos of Caitlin's goats or Michael's chasing ducks, it just adds to the to the story.
Yeah, we do. But just want to say we appreciate everyone who dines here, and we're humbled to have you as customers, and we look forward to continuing to serve you.
Yeah, we're definitely and visit the bar up top.
Yeah, the Trot is a great spot.
Let's go.
We're going there.
Thank you. Have a good one. Thanks for joining.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
This was great. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Good job.
Yeah, it was really good.